You know, I think a better title for this movie should have been D.O.A, Dead on Arrival. Oh boy, because if that's not what this movie is, then I don't know what describes it. Okay, so R.I.P.D, which stands for Rest in Peace Department, follows an officer played by Ryan Reynolds who is killed in a warehouse raid. However, this organization dedicated to stopping escaped dead people, called the Rest in Peace Department, sees that he has incredible skills and recruits him into the force, where he's teamed up with another lawman played by Jeff Bridges, and the two of them track down dead people that have escaped judgment in an idea that we have clearly never seen before. Men in Black! Sorry, had something in my throat. I'm good. Okay, where were we? Now, let me first say, this was one of those movies that, from the trailers, it looked like it had potential. Jeff Bridges made me laugh. It looked pretty good, and being a fan of the Men in Black, or at least the first movie, I was kind of interested in seeing it. But then, when this week came along, I noticed that Rotten Tomatoes was not getting a rating from the movie. And so I thought, oh shit, this is gonna be bad. But then I thought, no, come on, this could be fun. Sometimes I disagree with the critics on stuff, even though no critic has given any reviews for this movie yet, so it might be fun. And then I saw the movie, and I was like, oh my god, this is a train wreck. Now, I know it's completely unfair to compare one movie with another, and it's best to judge a movie on its own, but since everyone sees this movie as Men in Black with police officers and dead people, I have no choice but to compare it to this movie. The reason something like Men in Black works is because it establishes a world and rules that it clearly follows. It doesn't break any of its rules. It's basically secret agents who take down aliens from other planets who are disguised as people. Once the job is done, they erase the minds of any witnesses. And that's pretty much it. And plus, you've got a great chemistry between Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, and a lot of clever moments scattered throughout at least the first movie. Basically, R.I.P.D is the same thing, but instead of secret agents, you got police officers, or lawmen, and instead of aliens, you have dead people. But here's where things start to fall apart. They establish in the trailer that in the eyes of the living, the officers don't look like themselves. Jeff Bridges is a hot blonde, Ryan Reynolds is an old Chinese guy. That's basically disguises, which sounds like an interesting idea. But then it's ruined when the dead people start to reveal themselves in the outside world. It makes you think, wait, if ordinary people can't see the officers as themselves, how is it that the ordinary people can see the dead people in their true forms? And once the R.I.P.D kills that said dead person, do the people of the city just forget that there was a fat dead guy just running around the city? I mean, it's lazy writing like that makes this movie fall apart the more you try to piece together the logic of this movie. Ryan Reynolds is someone who I think works well in comedies. But when it comes to him doing other genres, I'm sorry, but he basically has no charisma when he's doing non-comedies. And especially since this is his fourth comic book movie, the other three being Blade 3, Green Lantern, and X-Men Origins Wolverine. The action scenes almost put me to sleep, and one thing that really irritated me about this movie is that this cost $130 million. And there's a lot of CG in this movie, but it's all terrible. It's like, where... $130 million? Where did that money go? Again, the action scenes are boring, the special effects look terrible, and... I'm gonna put quote fingers here, epic climax of the movie is just a straight ripoff to the finale of Ghostbusters. And you'll know it's a ripoff of Ghostbusters 5 seconds before it starts, and I counted 5 seconds. I don't know why I held up 10 fingers. Maybe because I'm frustrated with this movie. The only thing that was missing from that scene was a giant fat guy walking through the city of Boston destroying things. One thing I gotta talk about really briefly is probably one of the most confusing scenes I've ever seen. At the beginning of the movie, we see Ryan Reynolds with his old partner, played by Kevin Bacon. And there's a scene where both of them are, like, in the police locker room. And there's a point where it, like, makes one cut to Ryan Reynolds, makes the next cut to Kevin Bacon, then Ryan Reynolds, then Bacon, then Reynolds, then Bacon. And by the time we got to the fourth or fifth cut of them, I forgot who was who. I mean, it was the same short-haired, long-chinned guy. One just looks like he has wrinkles on, and it was just like, who's Ryan Reynolds? Who's Kevin Bacon? I don't know anymore! I'm acting a little over the top, but it really did feel like that. I was really confused during that one scene where we're introduced to Kevin Bacon. Now, I know someone who's out there, like, if there's anyone who's excited for this movie, you must be thinking, man, this sucks, but was there anything good about it? Yes, there was. There were some few good things about it, but they weren't enough to save the movie. Mary Louise Parker, who basically plays the chief of the whole R.I.P.D, she's somewhat enjoyable. Not that enjoyable because she's barely used in the movie and is just there basically to yell at Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges. Which segues into the other thing. Jeff Bridges did entertain me. But that's probably because he was playing Rooster Cogburn from True Grit again. And all my mind I kept thinking was rubble, 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 rubble. Because like in Because like in True Grit, there are moments where you can't understand what he's saying. But despite those two things, they aren't enough to save the movie, as I mentioned before. It's just a boring, formulaic, ugly little turd of a movie. The two leads have no chemistry when they're together, and it's just really uninspired. This movie was based off a comic book. I would like to get my hands on that comic book because I'm just curious to see if this comic book is as bad as this movie. I would tell this movie to burn in hell, but throughout the whole movie I was never angry. So I'm going to say, just don't waste your money. At all. Just a straight up don't waste your money. Being drunk or high will not help you through this movie. One last frustrating thing I gotta say about this movie before I end the video is that earlier this week I was talking to a fellow YouTuber about me going to see this, and she was like, really? This movie looks like crap. It looks terrible. And I was like, no, I think it has potential. I mean, Jeff Bridges is funny. It's Men in Black, but it seems like it has an interesting idea. And after this movie, I gotta say, Ren Adams, we probably should have bet money on this because you win. This movie is dog shit. So that's my review for Men in Black. I mean Ghostbusters. I mean D.O.A. I mean R.I.P.D. Leave a comment if you've seen the movie. Subscribe to my channel for more movie reviews. Check out my other channel, AlexG8462. This has been The Cinemas with Mr. Robinson. Tell your friends about me, and remember, know it before you see it. See you guys later.